Hello everybody, welcome to the CTO Demon channel. Now I guess those of you who've been watching the channel must have been wondering, why is there no talk about CTO crossing algorithm? Isn't this CTO Demon the same guy, Eugene Wu, who's the first author of the global CTO crossing algorithm? Isn't he the co-author of the AP CTO algorithm? Isn't he the first author of the retrograde CTO algorithm from the APCO Club? Why is it that we've had 10, 15 videos now and there's not a video on CTO algorithm? Has he left behind algorithmic CTO PCI altogether? What's happening? Of course, you're right. At some point, I'm going to talk about CTO crossing algorithm. But the reason I've held off is the reason for this video. I wanted really to explain in a video why I've held off from doing the global CTO crossing algorithm as a video on this CTO Demon channel. First, of course, you know me, I like to talk history. So we need to talk a little bit about the history of algorithms in CTO PCI. The history really was began by Manos, my good friend Birakus, who wrote the first hybrid algorithm. Now the hybrid algorithm was really quite an amazing thing. It was the first idea of using algorithm to drive CTO PCI. The algorithm has several things that I really admired. One was the concept of change if you're stuck. Two was the concept you need speed as well as safety and success. Indeed, the concluding statement of that paper talks about these three things, which you'll notice is in my triangle of balance. And thirdly, it talks about proctorship. And these three things I really appreciated from the hybrid algorithm. And so I wanted actually to bring the hybrid algorithm into the AP region. And that was one of the motivations for the AP CTO Club algorithm. On the other hand, the AP CTO Club algorithm wanted also to stand against certain things that we felt were over the top in the hybrid algorithm. I mentioned in another video that the Stingray and Crossboss use in the initial period of the hybrid group's CTO procedures was very high. And this was an initial over-enthusiastic use. Now, 10, 12 years later, everybody's agreed. I mean, Stingray shouldn't be used at that degree, that percentage of CTO cases. We've come back to a sensible level around the world. And back then, one of the tasks of the APCO algorithm was to lean against that. Also to lean against the fact that the hybrid algorithm almost has no role for IVUS. And we believe IVUS has an important role to play in CTO PCI. So there are many agendas that was required in the APCTO algorithm. And so I always think of the APCTO algorithm not as a straight algorithm, but as a slanted algorithm. It was leaning against many things. On the one hand, it's leaning to try to bring the good things of the hybrid algorithm into Asia Pacific region. On the other hand, it's leaning against the things which we think are not so good in the hybrid algorithm. And so when you look at the APCTO algorithm, actually, you can see all of this. You can see again the focus on very similar sort of background, the sort of skeleton to the hybrid algorithm. You can see the focus on change of method if you get stuck, on speed, and of setting time limits to stop. Very important. We brought also the idea of proctorship into the APCTO algorithm, which is very important, I think. On the other hand, we've also kept Stingray and Crossboss in the algorithm. We were against it, but we didn't want to remove it. We still felt that was something that was worth bringing into the AP region. But of course, we limited the role of knuckle wire because we felt that was overused. And so instead of just knuckling when there's 20 millimeters of CTO, we knuckle when there's calcium, tortuosity, or ambiguity. And now, I mean, again, 11, 12 years later, everything is settled. Pretty much around the world now, we knuckle when there's calcium, tortuosity, or ambiguity. Very few people now knuckle through a 20 millimeter not calcified straight CTO. So we have an agreement. And it is based on the ability for the whole world to agree that we can then step to do the global CTO crossing algorithm. The algorithm, of course, is very good. It's useful for teaching, it's useful for registries, research, and so on. And with each algorithm, actually, the authors were not lazy. The authors then went around to do a lot more explaining of each part of the algorithm. They did CTO PCI registries to check how the algorithm has worked and to see if the algorithm works. And they also tested ideas of the algorithm in these registries. The hybrid group, of course, has done a lot more work than the AP CTO group. They had a lot of resources. One particular important resource, of course, is my good friend Manos. The APCO has also have a registry, and we also wrote lots of technical papers about wiring, about retrograde, about reverse card, about rendezvous, a lot of the content of this channel, really, that we put on top of the CTO crossing algorithm. So these algorithms come with it a lot of publications that help explain and further clarify the algorithm. So the algorithm is very useful. So why have CTO Demon not given a talk on the algorithm? There's two reasons for my delaying giving the global CTO crossing algorithm talk. Number one is I realized that many people who come to this channel may be quite new operators for CTO PCI, may be quite beginners, and they might not have all the skill sets that is in the algorithm. In which case, the algorithm can be quite frustrating. So let's say you're doing integrate wiring, and the first wire goes subinterval, but you don't know how to stingray. And you've done very few parallel wire, you've never done IVUS guided wiring, and maybe your lab doesn't even have IVUS that's suitable for that, and you don't know how to do retrograde. The algorithm can be very frustrating for you because it's telling you to change, but you can't change, you don't have the skill sets. So I didn't want to, and it's a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling when you get that. So I didn't want to put the algorithm up front. So that's why up front I put the integrate wiring stuff. I'm hoping to increase your integrate wiring stuff that's useful for you. The second reason is that the algorithm is quite fixed. It doesn't account the dynamic changes that one sees when we're doing a CTO. So the algorithm is based on the baseline angiography. But sometimes when you start poking wires into the CTO, the information changes. Like you might have what looks like a very nice taper stump in an RCA CTO. But when you poke at it, you realize that that stump goes into a very small branch, an RV marginal. And in fact, the stump is ambiguous. So you've changed from a taper cap to an ambiguous cap while you're doing the CTO. Or you can see a very nice septal collateral. You think that's easy interventional collateral. But it might be in one view, it's got this very difficult turn and you just cannot cross it. Then the intervention collateral goes out and your retrograde options go out. So there's dynamic changes when you're doing CTO. Of course, you can sit back and just say, okay, now I've got this information. Let's restructure the algorithm and think again. Of course you can do that. But the algorithm can be quite dead and not dynamic. And that's another bad point, especially for sort of younger beginner CTO operators. So because I want the channel really to be helpful to the beginner operator as well as the seasoned operator, I didn't want to jump into the CTO algorithm too early. But having said all that, I think an algorithm talk is essential. Because the most important thing of the algorithm, no matter what algorithm we're talking about, is that it encourages you to change. It encourages you not to be stuck in failure mode, but to change to another option. And if you're frustrated because you don't have the other option, go and learn it. Gain that skill set. Find somebody in your local area, find somebody who knows how to teach you. Because by doing that, you can increase your skill set and the algorithm can really work for you. So I guess the only question left is, when is the global CTO crossing algorithm coming? Maybe when I get 100 subscribers. I'm kidding. You know it. I'm going to give you the global CTO crossing algorithm talk soon. Until then, if you like, please hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, do subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you will get the global CTO crossing algorithm video to you soon. Bye-bye.